Storytelling and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Okie dokie, folks. Welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. I'm glad to be here. It's hot, it's muggy, both in Mississippi and everywhere else you're listening, including in northern England. Got up to 85 degrees, and everybody's freaking out, but it's all right. Good morning, Java. How you doing, sir?
Oh, man, I'm doing about the same. Sweating here, but it's a different kind of heat, Mississippi heat. I don't think we have a heat advisory today, but it's been hot, man. It's been hot.
Yeah. Well, a heat advisory in Mississippi would be what, 95?
Yeah, with real feels around 110, and, you know, we've had those kind of days.
By the way, I don't know if you heard this, but the woman who invented the heat index, she passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. She was 96, but she said she felt like 108.
Let me find my rim shot.
Well, I've been waiting to say that for so long. Hey, did y'all survive the 4th okay? You and the kids and Crystal and them?
Yeah, we did, man. It was a pretty quiet 4th, to be honest. The girls ended up going with the grandmother, and I couldn't pull Java Charles away from his device to watch any fireworks, so it was pretty quiet.
Well, I tell you what, if we could get John C. to call up one of the pictures I took, I said to you, picture number 1. This is something that's gifted to me by my pub buddies. You know, I'm in northern England, and of course, they don't really celebrate the 4th of July like we do. They never heard of it. Then when they heard about me, they gave me some American flag socks, red, white, and blue socks.
I always was going to ask, you know, like you often are over the seas during the 4th of July, during the summer months. Is it just a regular day? It's just the 4th of July. Like it doesn't mean anything.
They celebrate their Independence Day on November the 5th, 1605.
Oh, wow. Well, I wonder, would they be mad? Like 4th of July?
No, they call us former colonists. It's not that big a deal to them. But anyway, been having a pretty good time. And interesting enough, that this is a really oddball thing, Java. I got to share this with you. See if I can get this right. Perspective on this last weekend celebration. You know, I'm a retiree, right? I took my age and divided into 250, which is how old our country is, right? 250 divided by my age, right?
Yeah.
I've been alive for a third of the time we've had a country.
Yeah, we are young. The United States, we're a baby out in the, you know, in the country world. We're a baby.
You know, the United States it's just 3 times older than I am. Isn't that weird? Anyway, just weird little perspectives. But we're going to be talking about gardening for the next little while. So, Java, if we got anybody who'd like to give us a call, it is for especially binge gardeners who are just sitting around, you know, got things on their mind, things they want to share, things they want to run back, getting second opinions. Maybe you just want to get a third or fourth opinion. You know, give us a call. It is live. It's toll free. 1-877-MPB-RING. I promise you that I only recommend things that I would do myself or recommend my own mother were she still alive. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. If it's something that you need to do that I think I would need to do, I'll share that. If it's iffy, I'll share that too. Pros and cons, I like them both. I question, Jamba, you know, I question everything. If there's something good about something, I want to know what's the downside. If there's something everybody says really, really bad, is there a silver lining there? So I'm always looking for not devil's advocate, but the pros and cons, trying to be even that way. So if anybody wants to give us a call, it is toll free, 1-877-MPB-RING. We're doing some binge gardening next 2 hours, Java. A lot of people aren't going to listen for 2 whole hours, but they know that they can come in and catch the other part later on YouTube or on mpbonline.org by just clicking on Gestalt Gardener. Go to YouTube, in the search box, do Gestalt Gardener, and you can see this stuff that Java and I are talking. You can see me and Java. I don't know if you noticed, Java, but this background picture I've got here was from a garden I was in this past week. Just a typical English garden. It doesn't look like much until I lean off to one side and see it's got a pathway down the middle of it.
Ah, yeah.
It's what I call little keyhole gardens. They'll have a little area of their yard with some shrubs or a little fence or something, a little path going to a bench, and they'll plant stuff around the bench and on both sides of the path, a little postage stamp type garden, which a lot of people here, they only have postage stamp size lots. So, if they've got a garden that's 15 feet wide and 20 feet long, they consider themselves really, really lucky. So anyway, they're the, shall I say, the kings and queens of small space gardening. And we can do that in Mississippi. I do it. Java, you and Crystal have a really nice little keyhole garden in your backyard where you grow vegetables and stuff.
That's what I was just about to say. That's a good tip for people who maybe, want to start a garden but kind of don't know where. Like you can start with, like you said, a pathway and a bench, and then you just kind of work your way from there. A pathway and like a little table setup where you can go out and sit and build your way from there,
I actually learned a really important design tip along those lines. Mynell Hayward, the woman, the designer and flower, huge flower show gal, she told me how she designed Mynell Gardens, which she used to live by. It's in West Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Mynell Gardens, she started out with just her backyard. Then she took in a little more area and took in the potato patch, and she just added a room at a time, basically. So when you wander through, you're really wandering through like 6 different small gardens. She said the way she did it was every time she would, her perspective was, wherever she stood, looked out a window, whatever, she would look as far as she could in that space, and she would put something out there, something hard, a bench, or an arbor, a swing, a patio, a big rock, a sculpture, put something physical out there that was there all year long that would catch your eye, and then she would simply put a path to it. Sometimes it'd be straight, sometimes it'd curve around the edge, sometimes it kind of cut across the middle, but by putting something out there you can see, and then making it where you can see how to get there, even if a few flagstones here and there, connect the dots. And then she would start planting stuff on one side or the other of the path and just gradually fill it in. And she would plant a little flowering tree around wherever the hard object was. Didn't matter if it was a sculpture or a bench or whatever. Put a little small flowering tree, then a shrub or two, and some perennial, and gradually it became a space. But it always started with putting something out there you could see and a path that made you want to get up and go there. And by dividing it up, it's like putting a footprint. Once you put your footprint out there, you can take it from there. But no matter how big the space, Louis XIV did the same thing. He had 400-yard long vistas, and at the very far end, he'd have a big fountain, and he'd have an alley, a little walkway going there, and he'd plant stuff on both sides. So whether you're living in Versailles or got a little tiny front garden, or maybe even just a patio, you could do that same effect. Real easy. Sort of like a recipe, but hey, it works. So
now, Felder, I did want to do something before we take our first break of the hour, because across many of our shows, we have been talking about working out in the heat and taking breaks and things. And, you have some of those stubborn gardeners, I'll say, who just are going to get out in the yard no matter what the temperature is or how hot it is. What do you do when you get out and it's a little too warm for comfort?
I go back inside. I mean, if whether it's Mississippi or England, no matter where, if it's hot, you stay in the shade, you stay in the shower, you stay hydrated. But basically, you do your gardening early in the morning or maybe late in the afternoon when it's kind of cooled down a little bit. Try to do it a little at a time. Luckily, most of our real garden chores are done in the spring or the fall, so we just sort of tweak it in the winter and tweak it in the summer. But just get out for a little while, early in the morning if you can. If you got to spray for insects, do it late in the day after the pollinators are left. But most of you do your gardening in the cooler hours, and then just go inside. Just go inside. Even watering. I don't like to water in the middle of the day because the water, a lot of it evaporates. I water in the morning so the plants will be nice and soaked and hydrated, and then I give them a break overnight. So mostly it's just doing that. By the way, before we take a break, can I brag a little bit on something?
Go for it, man.
Okay, let's put up picture number 2. This is a one of my favorite plants. Kind of hard to find in a lot of garden centers, but it's a type of basil. It's called African blue. African blue basil. It's almost too strong. I use it in some Asian, my cook-up rice and some of my curries and stuff. But it's stronger than our regular cooking basil. It's bigger than a real common one called Thai basil. A lot of people plant what basil called Thai. Anyway, this is African blue. It is more than waist high. These flowers in this picture are up to my waist. There's long spikes, lavender flowers. The stems are purple. The leaves are green, but the veins are purple. It's a terrific plant, but it's hard to find. So let's put up picture number 3. This is from 2 weeks ago on the program. It's been 2 weeks since we've been here. But picture number 3 is what I did 2 weeks ago on the air. I took my one plant, I snipped it back, I put some of the cuttings in a jar of water. Picture number 4, we only have 2 more pictures. Picture number 4 is what it looked like when I put it in my kitchen window. The original plant, you see, has been cut back to just like 6 inches tall, and I got those cuttings stuck in the water. You with me on that?
I'm with you, man.
Okay, the last picture, picture number 5, is what these cuttings look like exactly a week later, the next Friday, July the 3rd. Look at the roots on that in just a week.
Now, those some pretty healthy looking roots.
Yeah, and I've got 4 plants now. I'm going to spread it around, and it's real easy to keep a pot full. It's great in the garden. By the way, this is the most prolific pollinator plant in my garden. It is loaded with bees, hummingbirds, butterflies, moths, the little flies and things. It is the best pollinator, blooms nonstop. The hotter it gets, better. But anyway, the last thing I want to show is here's what it is 2 weeks later. Okay, right? This little cuttings. I want to show you what the roots like in just 2 weeks.
They all over the place, man.
Look at that. These little cuttings, individual cuttings. Let me see if I can just get one of them.
And that's just 2 weeks in water.
Well, yeah, 2 weeks. And look at the roots on that.
2 weeks in water, and you got, 3 inch long?
That not only in Java is it a good way to get plants and spread them around and get them ready for plant swaps or to share with neighbors or whatever. But, you could get kids to do this. They could take cuttings of basil and gardenias and rosemary and coleus and root them in water, put them in little pots, and maybe go door to door as a little fundraiser. I'm just saying. Oh, by the way, the plant that I cut back 6 inches tall, here's what it looks like now.
What's going on with those?
It's grown twice a month. I cut it back to here.
Oh.
And it's grown this much in 2 weeks. And look at those pretty flowers. Anyway, I just had a lot of fun. But basil, gardenias, rosemary, oregano, coleus, tomato suckers. You want to plant tomatoes for the fall garden? This is the time of year root some little suckers in water. But rooting in water is easy. You don't have to do the rooting powder. You don't have any special stuff. I prefer, it's not a professional recommendation, I prefer blue milk and magnesia bottles just because I think they're pretty. But anyway, it's something easy to do this time of year. And if you got kids, it's something they can learn to do. It's kind of a magical thing, too. I just want to throw that out.
Appreciate that, Felder. Now go ahead and take us to break, man. We take our first break of the hour.
All righty. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, me and Java Chapman, my awesome producer. Got Abram and John C. back there. Maybe Marissa. I don't know where Marissa was. She did a great job a couple of weeks ago as the producer of the program. But we're going to take a little break and come back with more of the Gestalt Gardener and your phone call. It is a live, wide open call. I know you got something to share or something on your mind. So give us a call. We'll be nice. And we're going to take a little break and come right back here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting right after this.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Hatred destroys the one who hates. The others that you hated go on about their business, care of us.
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar is right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more.
Back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, and we just got all sorts of stuff going on. If you're catching this live, we welcome you, but also keep in mind and maybe share with other people that they can listen to this, they can actually see this on YouTube. Go to this YouTube, and in the search box, put Gestalt Gardener, or else go to mpbonline.org and just look for Gestalt Gardener. It's a lot of fun there. But Java, what's going on with the live stream? We got any folks who got questions or anything?
Well, not yet, but I do want to say good morning to some of our regulars on the YouTube. Pamela checking in from Halston, and we got Alan. We have Sugar checking in, who complimented you on your joke this morning about the heat index lady. We got Stuart. Also, we have Margie checking in from Harperville. And if anybody else is want to drop a question in the YouTube chat, you can do that, or you could give us a phone call 1-877-MPB ring. We do got a couple of callers just lined up. Thanks, Marissa, back there on the phones.
Yeah, Marissa's she's our phone greeter, sort of like you got the Walmart greeters, we got the MPB greeters. And Marissa did a good job. I gave a shout out to her mama, who's a librarian there in Calhoun City at the library, and I really enjoy the talks I give all over the state. I think I finally have lectured in every single county of the state, except for Issaquena County, or which one is just north of Vicksburg, Issaquena or Inawamba? Issaquena, right?
I think so, yeah.
It's the only county in the state that doesn't have a courthouse, so they have to go to the courthouse and the library in Rolling Fork. So I've talked to Issaquena folks there, but anyway, look forward to getting back this fall. Actually, in just a few weeks. Got some stuff to tend in my own garden. I've got my daughter coming by every couple of weeks just to make sure everything's still there. But I try to garden job in a way that doesn't require a lot of maintenance in the summertime. I put stuff out in the spring, plant it well, I mulch it well, I weed it, and then I try to make sure that if it can't make it for a month or more without rain, it's just not going to make it. And over the years, I found a lot of really, really cool plants that grow even in containers in the back of my pickup truck without anybody having to water. So anyway, that's my secret. If there's a secret to my success, it's learning from trial and error and not doing stupid stuff over and over again. So there.
Now let's jump over here to the phones and talk with our first caller for the morning. This is Jim in Jackson.
Good morning, Jim. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Felder. Jim Rosenblatt here with a question about poinsettias.
Yeah.
I have 4 or 5 poinsettias left over from Christmas at my house, and they're very full with green leaves. Of course, they have lost their blossoms. But is there a way that I can get them to blossom again?
Yes, it is. And also keep in mind, Jim, that you can take a poinsettia and cut it back to just 6 or 8 inches a foot tall. You cut it way, way back. As long as there's some leaf joints left, it will quickly sprout out. I mean, the more you prune it, the thicker it gets. Commercial growers actually cut them a couple of 3 times from when they get the cuttings in the summer until they sell them in the fall. But you can prune it back and put them where it gets plenty of bright light and a little bit of fertilizer. The new growth will come out nice and strong and compact, And to get it to bloom again, you can do this any time of the year as long as you make it think it's back home in Mexico where it's native and the days are getting shorter. If you can get a box that excludes all the light, just a big cardboard box, and set it over the plants every day, 4, 5, 6 in the afternoon, and leave it on till the middle of the next morning. Make sure it gets 13 or 14 hours of total darkness every night, and then light and water and fertilizer during the day. Within just a few weeks, you'll notice a new growth will start turning red. And once that happens, it's triggered. You can throw the box away. But to trigger it into blooming, you got to make it think the nights are longer than the day. And if you prune them back, they fit under the box better. You have more flowers later. But it's just really important to give them fertilizer, light, even full sun, and some water. But that's all it takes to trigger it.
How long what's the average time it would take under the box before it starts turning red?
I want to say it's like 6 or 7 weeks. It might be as much as 8 weeks, but it's not long. It'll take at least a month. But then you notice, and the growth on it won't turn red. It's the new growth that starts coming out kind of red. That's the reason you've got to give it light and water and fertilizer during the day, so it's putting on new growth. So pruning it, covering it up, water and fertilizer during the day, then the new growth will start coming out at least a month, but no more than a month and a half or so. And you can do that any day of the year.
If I can get it to blossom again, I'll sing Jingle Bells.
There you go. Or a Feliz Navidad.
Thank you, Felder.
Okay, appreciate your call, Jim. Thank you. By the way, Java, that's an old friend of mine, Jim Rosenblatt. He has he's the not the professor emeritus, the dean emeritus of the Mississippi College School of Law. And in the corner of the parking lot, downtown Jackson, he's got a little walk-in garden. Just it's not as big as, and not much, about the size of my pickup truck. But he grows okra and tomatoes and zinnias and all sorts of stuff in a little corner of a lot downtown Jackson. Anyway, so if he can do that, you can do it. Anybody can. Well, John, you and Crystal already do that,
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Who else we got?
Yeah, we got another call. Let's see. I need better glasses. This is Bryce in Woodville on the phone.
All right, Bryce, you cannot be further south of Mississippi and still be in Mississippi than Woodville.
I don't know where you're saying Woodville. It's Woodville.
Oh, yeah, I'm from the Delta, Woodville. Woodville, that's right. That's why, just like over here, they have Birmingham, not Birmingham, Birmingham. And they have, what's the place in Edinburgh? They have Edinburgh. We have Edinburgh. Anyway, what's going on down in southwest Mississippi?
Well, thank you for taking my call. With everything in bloom like it is right now and full, I am anxious to start pruning some plants, and I just want to get your advice about perennials, when to prune, and when's the best time of the year to prune things. They look really like I want to start doing it now.
Yeah, incidentally, I write a weekly column for Mississippi Press Association. They send it to all the daily and weekly papers in the whole state. Some of them choose, it doesn't cost them anything. We do this as a service. And this coming week's article is about summer pruning. You can prune ever-blooming things that bloom all the time, like roses, vitex, althea. You can prune those anytime, and they'll put on new growth and still keep blooming. If you wait much longer than the middle of August or so, they don't have time for the new growth to come out and mature. So it's better to do that hard pruning in late June, July, first part of August. So you can still do that. Even azaleas that bloom in the spring, if you prune them now and then no more pruning, they have time for the new growth to come out and set buds before fall for next flower, next spring. But I give my plants what's called a Chelsea chop. They call it Chelsea chop because in England they do it in June or so, end of May, June or so, about when the Chelsea flower show is. I cut all my fall blooming stuff back, my goldenrods, my asters, my chrysanthemums, those kind of things that bloom in the fall. I cut them back now, so instead of getting really long and tall and leggy, they put out more branches, more compact, and more flowers later. And then you can also prune ever-blooming things like tomatoes. You can prune basil, those kind of plants. You can prune them now, and they'll still put on new growth, have plenty of time. It's getting towards the end of the time to do a hard prune, but keep in mind that wherever you make the cut, the new growth comes out right there. So cut them at different heights. You may even leave some stuff unpruned, but cut different stems at different heights. And I think as long as you get on it this month, no problem whatsoever.
Great. Thank you very much. That's very clear. I appreciate that very much, Felder.
Well, yeah. And by the way, a lot of those cuttings you could root. You know, even if you don't want to, it's a good thing to do to share with some neighbors. So, you know, a lot of, even gardenias, you can put a gardenia cutting in a jar of water and it'll have roots in 2 weeks. But rosemary, oregano, basils, all those kind of things. You can, even roses, you can root if you go ahead and prune them.
Well, good information. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for your call, man. Java Woodville is on the road between Natchez and Baton Rouge, and just immediately south of Woodville is Louisiana. That's how far down it is. And there's one of my favorite musicians of all time. It's from Woodville, Mississippi. He's called the Prez. Any idea who saxophone player called the Prez was?
No, I'm drawing a blank. I can't wait to hear it.
Lester Young.
Oh, Lester Young.
Was, one of the best alto sax. He played for Count Basie for a long time. He was married. I'm drawing a total blank.
I didn't know he was called the Prez.
He had the Prez because there was a Count, there was a Prez.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a total blank on the blues, the singer who was with Count Basie for so long. Anyway, he was from Woodville, Mississippi. Little esoteric, non-gardening stuff.
Beatrice, no, not Beatrice Tolliver. That was his first wife. Well, we'll get onto that. We have another call. Let's go to talk to Tammy in Slidell on the phone.
Morning, Tammy. What's going on?
I'm good. Felder, how are you?
It's not so bad. I'm feeling pretty good. My hair's starting to dry. It's starting to get a little bit curly because it got up to 86 outside today. What you got going on?
We're at 90-something right now.
Boy, talk about a bad hair day. I can have a bad hair day when it gets hot and humid. So what you got? What's going on in your garden?
Okay, I have a Magnolia Jane. It's probably about 4 feet. The other one's doing great, but this one is, I've done so many things. I've taken the leaves and trimmed them and did this and that, but it's very brown. The leaves are brown. It's just not doing it. It looks very sick.
Yeah. How long have you had it?
Oh, probably good 4 years.
Yeah. Well, Jane Magnolia, it's a type of what some people call Japanese magnolias. They bloom in the springtime, right. Early, mid, late spring. And there's several really good cultivars. It's one of the better ones, nice dark pinkish flowers. If the leaves are turning bad, that's going to be usually one of two things. It probably won't be a disease. They get diseases. They get scale insect. Look on the stem for what looks like little gobs of dry chewing gum, little bumpy things. Okay. And if they peel off, that's the type of insect called a scale. And they get on the twigs. Okay. They don't even look like bugs. They cover themselves up with this scaly, waxy stuff, and they suck sap. And if you got a lot of scale on there, they can make the leaves look really, really bad. So check for scale, little bumpy things on the stems. But the other two most likely things are either have some kind of trunk wound, been hit with a weed eater or the string trimmer or the lawnmower, something like that, or else it's in an area that stays really, really wet part of the year and then dries out. So when it stays wet, the roots stay shallow. And when it dries out, they suffer because they don't have deep roots. So usually root problems related to water, trunk damage, or sometimes scale insect. Those are the most common things.
Right. Well, it stays it's in the heat a lot. It's in very much sun, but not a lot of, water. But other than that, what can I use for that if it has that?
Well, scale is hard to control. You can control it easiest by using which happens to be an organic control, what they call dormant oil. You spray it on in the wintertime. And it covers the scale up and smothers them. It's safe to use, but you do that in the winter before they leaf out. This time of year, you'd have to use what they call a systemic insecticide, something that's absorbed into the plant and kills things that suck juice out of it. But anyway, not much else. By the way, you can prune those. You can prune some of the stems and make them thicken back up with new growth. So other than that, let's think about watering issues because, where you live is real flat, and when it stays wet, it stays wet. And so you can have deep root problems just from all the rain from your being in the flat part of the country.
Okay. Should I take all the brown leaves off?
Well, or get, since they're brown, they're not going to green back up. You can take them off, you can leave them on, or you can spray paint them. The plant doesn't care.
Because I read that if the leaves fall around it, that it does something to the tree itself from the leaves.
Yeah, it fertilizes them. This is the way trees feed themselves. They recycle nutrients through fallen leaves. Perfectly okay to do that. Scale insects are really obvious. If you're not sure, when you look at it, you'll know. If you don't know for sure, it ain't scale.
Okay. All right, Felder, thank you so much. You have a great day, and I love your show.
It. Oh, thank you for being part of it. That was nice, Java. Real nice.
Oh, yeah. Tammy from Slidell. Now it's time for our cheesy tune for the break. Time for our cheesy tune break. Yeah, there we go.
Let's do the Jolly Good Company thing I sent, because I missed y'all last week. And this is a little English song. And it's the guy said, "Here we are again, happy as can be, all good fun and jolly good company." Anyway, I'm glad to be back, folks. Java and I took a little time off for the celebrations last week. We're going to take a little break and come out with more of your phone calls, and also some stuff I've done with some of my potted plants. But anyway, sit back, relax, get a cup of coffee. It's too hot to go outside, and let's come back and chat a little bit. See you in a bit.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
The Measuring Show.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
All right, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing and Java Chapman, my awesome producer. Java, we got any callers on the line right now?
No, Marissa's back there twiddling her thumbs right now, so we'll
okay, well, let me throw out something that sort of a bragging right. It's not bragging. I did something that everybody does, but let's put up picture number 6 if we can. If you're on live stream, you can see that. If not, go to live stream and check this out. But this is the type of plant that's called mother-in-law tongue or snake plant. Latin name is Sansevieria. It's actually been changed to Dracaena, but we're not going to go there. This is my grandmother's Java. Have you ever seen this plant before?
Yeah, it's one of those like hard to kill, but surprisingly a lot of people do type plants.
What happens when somebody goes to the hospital or something, they get this little basket of plants, and this is the only plant that lives. It'll grow in an ashtray on top of a television. But this is my grandmother, Granny, not the horticulturist great-grandmother, not my garden club grandmother, but Granny, hillbilly Granny. And she grew it in a pot where she put used kitchen tinfoil around the pot. She said it prettied it up. But you got to appreciate that, because she loved that little plant as much as I love my collections. Anyway, picture number 7. We're going to do 3 more pictures. Picture number 7 is a plant that I've had here in England for a long time. It's called a ribbon Dracaena. It's taller than I am. It's not quite as tall as you are, but it's taller than I am. It's a real common plant. A lot of people get them in little gift baskets, and they keep it small. But this is what it wants to look like. Now, picture number 8 is what it looked like when I inherited it. I pulled it out of this pot.
Oh, wow.
Java, it had been in a little pot, not much bigger than a coffee cup, so long that the potting soil was gone. There's nothing but just roots. A stunted little plant, about 1.5 feet tall, and the roots were solid, no potting soil left at all, right? I took that and I repotted it, and the last picture on the show, picture number 9, I think, is what it looks like now in the background. I repotted it, I gave it a little fertilizer, pruned it a little bit, I let it grow, and what you can't tell is in the foreground, that blue glass and that little bird are 2 awards that I won at the Ribble Valley Horticulture Society show.
Oh, those are trophies?
Yeah, they're trophies.
Oh, wow.
One was for the best in its class, the best potted plant. Well, the other was the best in show. And this is the plant that looked like it was a little runty, little scraggly thing, 1 foot tall with no potting soil. It had no chance of living. All I did was I put it in a bigger pot, I gave it a little fertilizer, put it in a bright spot, and watered it as needed. Nothing magical, no horticulture tricks, nothing special. Just plain old bright light, water, and occasional fertilizer. That's how easy it is to take something that's nearly impossible to survive all the way to a blue ribbon. Not bragging on me, because I didn't do anything special. I just did it. And that's the thing about a lot of gardening. A lot of people don't garden simply because they just don't get started. And if you choose something easy and rewarding, that's what I would go for. Anyway, I just bragging myself. I did get a couple of real nice little awards for a plant that I brought back from death with just a little water and fertilizer.
So just the simple things.
Yeah. You don't have to. You don't have to do all that stuff. Horticulture doesn't matter. It ain't what you know, Java. It's what you do.
Now let me. I want to say also good morning to SB on the YouTube. We got Rita checking in from Olive Branch saying good morning. We got Kim also saying she was loving the African blue basil that you posted about a little bit earlier. And then she did ask, did you say where you got that African blue basil from?
Yeah, some of the garden centers this particular one I got at a flower show. It usually doesn't show up, whether it's England or Mississippi. It's not commonly grown because not many people ask for it. They want just a regular basil. But this one I got from a garden center. I think they have some in Jackson. I got a little nursery between Madison and Canton, a little small mom and pop place. Only open in the spring and the fall. They're closed in the summer, closed in winter, and it's a drive-through. It's just greenhouse. You drive through, you go out, and you get what you want to put it in there. Called Moore's Greenhouse. And oddly enough, she had gotten her start from me. I gave her a plant, 3 or 4 years ago in the fall. It was gonna die. It's gonna freeze. So I took some out there, and she took cut, and she's been selling it ever since. But anyway, if you can't find an African blue, a really similar one that's just almost as good, just not as big, is called Thai, Thai. Thai basil looks, tastes, everything about it. It's just a lot more compact. But Thai basil and African blue are sort of the same genre. Too hard to cook with. They're really pungent. But I eat a lot of Asian food, and which I like the pungent stuff. But anyway, if you can't get this, if you can find somebody who can grow it, they can root it and share it. So what I'm trying to do is get it where master gardeners have it at all their plant sales. So the only problem with it is one of those plants nobody comes in asking for, so garden centers don't generally carry it. If you come in asking for it, they can get it. I guarantee you that.
All right. Well, now let's go back to the phones and go to Hattiesburg and talk with David.
Morning, David. What's up down in Forest County?
Good morning. Actually, I'm in Lamar County, so just a little farther west.
Okay. What's up?
I've got some ligustrums. They're probably 15, 20 years old, kind of cut high so you can walk underneath them. But every now and then a whole branch will die, and I have to cut it off. And I'm trying to figure out what I can do for that.
Well, I have the same problem. When I moved in the house I'm in now, and I've been there for 40 years, it had ligustrum all the way around the backyard. It had grass and ligustrum, that was it. And over the years, several of them had just completely died a piece at a time. Some, what I do on the older ones is when something dies, just cut it off. And if you have a branch that's kind of low, if you prune it back, it's still alive, it'll branch back out and start you some new trunks. But there's not much you can do. These plants the problems build up. Same thing with the old azaleas. The problems build up in woody plants. They get root damage one year from too much rain, too much drought, back and forth. And over the years, they get internal damage, which slowly causes the plants to decay, just like old oak trees. So other than cutting them way back to rejuvenate them, start them over again, not much you can do except just occasionally cut out the dead stuff. By the way, you can cut those back to just 1.5 feet tall, completely cut them back, maybe just do one and see how it does, and it will quickly sprout out really strong new growth. And you thin that out to become new trunks, and it'll grow faster than anything you can buy. It's called rejuvenation pruning. So if you want to do that to every other one, or just every third one, just cut them way, way back. When the new growth comes out, let it get 1 foot or so tall and snip the tips off of it so it starts to branch out. And you'll have brand new plants in practically no time. You can do this over and over again.
Yeah, they've got some new sprouts coming up from the ground. I didn't know I could cut them off like that and they would sprout out, so I will do that. So
wherever you make the cuts, the new growth comes out there. So cut it where you want it to branch back out.
Okay, so one other question, too. I've got some really tall, they're either Italian cypress or some type of junipers my house is 2 stories and they're taller than the house, but the bottom parts, most of them are brown. Most of the area is brown. What can I do? Do I cut the limbs off, or what can I do with it?
Yeah, first of all, this kind of looks like a spaceship, long and really skinny.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an Italian cypress. They really hate our heat and humidity. They grow great in the deserts. They grow great in really hot, dry in Italy and Southern California. But where there's a lot of humidity, sooner or later the lower branches start getting leaf disease, twig diseases. And it's sort of like the plants are firing up. You can't prune these hard like you can broadleaf plants like ligustrum or azaleas. So about all you can do is just cut off the stuff that looks bad. You might want to think about starting to put something out in front of them as replacement plants for down the road, because once they start this, it's really a slow, long-lasting kind of firing up kind of decline. But you can't prune these back. All you can do is cut off the brown stuff. And it's because of older age, heat, humidity, rainfall, that kind of stuff. They just don't like it.
Gotcha. Well, thank you very much.
All right, appreciate your call, and good luck with those ligustrum. Hey, by the way, take a before and after picture, and then let us know what it looks like in the fall.
Okay.
See you. Okay, Java, what's up, man?
Well, Marissa's back to twiddling her thumbs. We need your phone calls. 1-877-MPB ring 1-877-672-7464.
You and I were talking during the break about entertainment. I don't go to clubs. I'm not a bar person, but I do hang out at a pub, both in Jackson and England, where it's sort of like Cheers. You don't go there to get crazy. You go there just to relax with some guys and gals and what I call pub talk. But anyway, I sent a picture just in case you're wondering of the front of my pub. It's picture number 11. This is some of the guys I hang out with. And when he pulled this picture up, you see that's just some of my guys there, and Susan's there in the middle. But you see up the very top, can you see what it says on the picture?
Some ye old men and Seth.
Man and Scythe.
Oh, Man and Scythe.
You see the year on it?
1251.
Yeah, it's been a pub since since the 13th century. It's been a pub.
What in the world?
Yeah, it's got a sign there that said this section refurbished in 1256 or no, 1635 is refurbished.
That's the original.
But anyway, the reason I want to share that because it's kind of interesting thing, and this is horticulture related. The pub talk. We were talking the other day about life's travails. You know, life brings you lemons, you make lemonade. Have you heard that?
Of course. Well,
the question was, why are lemons sour? If plants produce fruit for animals to eat, why are lemons sour? Now, this is where it gets crazy horticulture. Turns out lemons are not naturally occurring fruits. People deliberately cross-pollinated mandarin oranges with pomelos, which is like a grapefruit type thing, which produced sour oranges, and then they bred sour oranges with citron, and so selective breeding is where we got with lemons. So the old saying about making lemonade when life gives us lemons, we actually made the lemons ourselves. We gave the lemons ourselves.
We making our own troubles.
That's right. Life didn't give us lemons. We did it ourselves. I know it's Think Radio, Java. That's what we're supposed to be doing here, not just is it too late to prune my azalea type stuff, which, by the way, it's not too late to prune azaleas.
Well, let's see what's up with the tomatoes because we're going back to Hattiesburg, and Tom from Hattiesburg wants to talk about his tomatoes.
Okay, Tom, what's up?
Hey, good morning, daughter. Look, I've had a big problem with this year. I've got about 12 tomato plants, and I've lost 6 of them already to wilt. It is, well, I've got the hornworms, they ate my potatoes. They ate anything just about.
Oh, they eat them down to nubs. And they eat the nubs.
So I've got some that I've got covered with the netting, and I put some in the garden. And I'm out in the regular dirt. And both of them, I've had problems with both of them wilting.
Yeah.
And they're the ones I have now are supposed to be they're hybrids.
Wilt resistant.
And when they're in the netting, it's really kind of hard to stick my finger in there to see if they're dry or not. When I took it off, it's really wet. Because it's not. I don't know. Right now, it might be overwatering. I don't know.
Yeah, well, of course, we did get a lot of rain a couple of 3 weeks ago, and that could set up plants. That could damage roots just enough to where they're weak. And then when it turns hot and dry again, they don't have the roots there to help them through. So a lot of times heavy rains do the damage, but it doesn't show up until it gets hot and dry again. If you water them a lot, that just does more root damage. Here's the deal on wilt. But I've got a book written in 1939. It's 90 years, almost 90 years old. And the whole book, the name of it is Diseases of Tomatoes, not insects, not pepper diseases. So they have a lot of problems. And when we talk about wilt, there's two kinds of, wilt is just when the whole plant just wilts. And it can be caused by verticillium. It can be caused by fusarium. There's another disease that causes wilt that's called southern blight. It attacks the lower stem, a little white webby stuff down at the bottom. And even though there's some varieties that are resistant to those, they're not immune to it. And we live in the acid test for these kind of things. So resistant just means it's like you got your flu shot. You can still get the flu. It just won't be as bad. But there's not much you can do once wilt sets in except watch your watering. What commercial growers do and what I've done, because I'm gone most of the summer, is plant twice. You can plant new tomato plants in a different spot this month, even up until the first week in August, new tomato plants, new pepper plants, and they will grow better in the hot weather, and they'll produce better when it starts getting cool in September and October, November. So what commercial growers do is they plant a new rose every couple of 3 weeks to always keep some new plants coming on. So when the others start to peter out or they start getting wilt, they just get rid of them. So other than watching your watering, using wilt-resistant variety VFN hybrids, there's not much you can do except replant. And we got a lot of time to replant. You can actually take some suckers off the plants you got out there and root them in water.
And that is kind of like what's happened to the whole plant. It's like the whole plant, and I keep them in containers, and so I'm using the same dirt. You know, I mix in new dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
So, is there something that I can put in the dirt to kill any bacteria before I start planting, or anything to prepare the soil to keep this from happening?
Not really. And by the way, there is a bacterial wilt, but there's also fungal wilt. So there's different kind of wilt organisms. We don't have anything that kills fungi or bacteria. We protect plants from getting infected, sort of like you put sunscreen on to keep from getting sunburn. Once you're burned, there's nothing you can do about it. And so there's nothing you put in your dirt. If you mix some fresh compost, real compost, in with your potting soil, compost has even though it sounds iffy, it actually has an antifungal, antibacterial effect in the soil. So real compost helps a lot. But I think it'd be a good idea to refresh the potting soil at least every couple of years with something completely different. And keep in mind, these diseases are everywhere. They're like pollen and mosquitoes. They're everywhere. So even if you start out fresh stuff, it can still attack, because it's hard to grow here in Mississippi without watching your watering. But no, there's nothing put in the dirt that's going to help.
Well, Tom, hopefully that helped. Felder, we're coming to the bottom of this hour. Hour number 2 of the Gestalt Gardener is on the way. We got Andrew and Diamond Head on the phone, Francis in Mobile, Alabama on the phone. I want you to hold, and we'll get to you as soon as we come out of this break.
Yeah, and by the way, I found something very similar to Granny's Chicken here in England. We're going to do all that kind of stuff in hour 2. Me and Java, we're going to be back with hour 2 of the Gestalt Gardener here on Mississippi Public Broadcasting right after this.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Okie dokie, folks. Welcome back to Hour 2 of the Gestalt Gardener on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. And John, have I told you lately how much I appreciate the opportunity to be here with y'all on MPB?
I'm not going to lie, Felder. I think you say it every week, man.
Well, I do. It's sort of like a big old screen porch, you know. Everybody's welcome. We're sitting on the porch in a swing, rocking chair. People walk by and said, "Hey, come on up. What's going on?" You know, just like one of the things about Southern culture. And I read this in a book years and years ago. A guy was comparing different gardening cultures. In the South, more people, maybe not like they used to. People used to sit out in the front yard more, and still see this in small towns and country gardens. They got the chairs out in the front yard, maybe got a barbecue thing, just to be part of a community. And that's what MPB is. It's a way for people to be part of a community without really arguing too much. Anyway, we're here to take calls from folks. It's toll-free 1-877-MPB-RING. I got some things to share with you, but if there's some things on your mind, maybe something you're worried about or wondering about or want to try something, give us a call. We'd be happy to. But I think Marissa's got us some calls lined up.
Yeah, let's go to Andrew in Diamond Head.
Yeah, Andrew, good morning. What's up?
Hey, Felder, how you doing? The last three seasons, I used to be known for growing a whole lot of cucumbers, making pickles and all that. But the last 3 seasons, no matter how healthy my plants get or how big they are, how many, I get good numbers of cucumbers. But as soon as they get at least 3 or 4 inches, they start turning yellow, like almost immediately.
Yeah, there's there's several things that could cause that. I'm not the type to really guess, but are you planting them in the same spot every year after year after year?
I plant everything in pots. All my vegetables and flowers are all in pots.
Well, in pots, then we could sort of rule out disease, because diseases can build up. If you plant the same crops every year over and over and over, certain diseases do build up. So we can rule that out. When you grow things in containers, the type of potting soil you have determines everything about how water works and how fertilizers work. If you have really good drainage and you water a lot, you have to fertilize, not more fertilizer, a little bit more often, because it doesn't have this thing called cation exchange. Fertilizer doesn't stick to anything and hang around, just washes out. So you might want to consider going over to a really good quality liquid fertilizer, but only at half strength. Whatever it calls for a gallon of water, put that in 2 gallons, and do that every 3 or 4 or 5 times. Every week or two, a week and a half, 2 weeks or so. In other words, just sort of like just a steady feeding of really small amounts of nutrients. Other than that, I just have to start guessing, and I just hate to guess about stuff.
No, I appreciate that. I think I'll just up my schedule. Usually I only did it once every 3 or 4 weeks, but I go out there every week and start fertilizing. But before I let you go, I got to tell you, I've got the healthiest St. Augustine diamond head because I listen to you and I keep that lawnmower deck on the highest setting, but I cannot seem to convince anybody to jack their lawnmowers up. And they all wonder why their lawns are yellow, and I got the greenest St. Aug and all the diamond head. So I appreciate you.
Well, they're looking at all the golf courses and things like that. A lot of the magazines, golf course, and all, they use a different kind of grass, and it's mowed real close. You don't see many lush St. Augustine lawns in magazines and stuff. And they're thinking carpet. St. Augustine is a shag rug, and it just wears it out. Anyway, nothing you can do about that except know that they talk about you about why don't you mow your grass often.
I appreciate you, Felder. Y'all have a good one.
Yeah, and by the way, I would just switch over to every 2 or 3 weeks for the fertilizer, but less than the recommended amount per application. You don't need to do it every week.
Thank y'all so much. Appreciate everything you guys do.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. And
John,
congratulations
that's
on
a really weird thing, because I look at things from different perspectives. I have to do some, and not to take away from the bad side of code shifting, but I have to do a lot of code shifting between horticulture and gardening. And because horticulture say you got to do this and this and this, and gardeners say no, you don't. But then gardeners don't do some things that are just absolutely important to plants. And mowing grass is something we've been taught by mostly advertisers and watching golf courses and stuff like that. They just don't understand grass is a living, breathing creature, and St. Augustine grass and Bermuda grass are completely different creatures, totally different needs. And if you treat them the same, one or the other is going to suffer. Anyway, I look at it from the grass's point of view every time. And St. Augustine, mow high, throw the wrench away, and a lot of your problems simply disappear.
And the proof is in the pudding. Andrew said, it's the best lawn in Diamond Head,
Yep.
St. Augustine lawn.
But I guarantee you they talk about him, though, why he doesn't mow his grass enough. So we got any more callers?
Well, Marissa's got a call being lined up now, but I want to switch over to the YouTube because we got a great question from one of our regulars, Amanda. Good morning, Amanda. And it says, good morning. My crepe myrtles have been beautiful this year. Just wondering if the really cold weather last winter had anything to do with making the bloom spectacular this summer.
And that's a really good question. And but it's in the same genre as if I plant different plants in with my vegetables where they taste better. It really doesn't affect them. Crepe myrtles naturally go dormant. They can't really tell, once they go dormant, they can't really tell temperature that much. It's more to have to do with spring with the rains, and then the summertime, the temperature and moisture, and also whether the plants are kept healthy or not. But it's just like every spring, a lot of people say it's the prettiest their azaleas have ever been. But I hear that every single year. It's just about mostly the springtime and early summer and the rain conditions. That's most. It's a physiological thing, an environmental thing, not a cold thing. Good question, though. Really good question.
Okay. Well, Let's see.
You know, I had along those lines, I get a lot of people say the type of fertilizer you use will affect the way your vegetables taste. And there's nothing I can do to make people stop believing that, but it's simply not true. It's simply not true. There's a few minor things that can slightly influence some things, but in general, organic versus synthetic, no, we've done blind taste tests too many times. So there's a lot of good myths out there. It doesn't hurt to do those kind of things, but it's not that big a deal. Hey, have we got time for me to show a couple of unusual pictures?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay, let's start out with picture number 10. This is the flower pots outside the post office of my little village in northern England, just to show you what they do. I mean, they have window boxes, the design, nope, picture number 10, sorry. Anyway, it's a picture of some flowers. There we go. They have window baskets that fit over the top of porch railings. So they have sort of like saddlebags, and they plant all sorts of stuff, spiky stuff and cascading stuff. But I wanted to mention this past weekend, I went to a garden event and ran into a fellow that I've known for quite some time. His name is Chris. Let's put up picture number 12. I want to show Chris's T-shirt. This is in northern England. He had a T-shirt that basically said, "It's all about okra, okra friends." See if we can get that picture. There we go. I can't even read that. It's
Okra,
so small.
Okra lovers unite.
Yeah, okra lovers unite. And I'm thinking this is really unusual, but it turns out Chris's family is from a village about 8-9 miles from me. They have a nursery, a big nursery, and I see them at flower shows. But Chris moved to North Carolina 8 or 10 years ago. He's got a couple of beautiful children. He's over visiting his family, but he's a guy who wrote the book on okra. We've interviewed him on the program, but he wrote an entire book on okra, and it's a huge bestseller in the foodie world, not the gardening world, but the food people. All the different types of okra, the different flavors, different ways you can eat their seeds or roots or leaves, everything you want to know about okra. But while we're at that garden, let's put up picture number 13. I got 3 more pictures to show. Picture number 13 is a plant that is commonly grown in England that will not grow in Mississippi, but this is a Java. That's one leaf.
Whoa, that's not Photoshop.
It looks, that's not a trick shot. That's me. You can see my hand. I'm nestled up against it. This leaf is over 5 feet wide and 6 feet long. It looks like a shrub we grow called Fatsia. Fatsia has shrubs like that. Big broad leaf, and just looks like a maple leaf, but it's 5 feet by 6 feet. The plant grows in low wet areas. A lot of people like to grow this in Mississippi because they see it when when they watch Monty Don on the BBC program. But we have a plant that's similar. I don't have a picture of it right now. It's called rice paper plant. Rice paper plant leaves get about half that big, dies down in the winter, comes back up every year. Old-fashioned plant, but if you like this effect, there's a smaller leaf shrub called Fatsia, and there's a big leaf perennial called a rice paper plant. I can't remember the Latin name, it's a long one. But anyway, we can have that same effect. But anyway, the 2 next pictures I want to show, this is a picture of classic little accent. Most gardens around the world, whether it's in England or Mississippi or California or Japan or whatever, have little accents here and there. Well, this is a picture, for those who can't see it, of some shrubs, some burgundy foliage shrubs, and they got this rock plinth. It's just like a fence post made out of rock with a little pot sitting on top of it. That's all it is. It's called a plinth. It's like it's just like a 3 foot tall fence post with a pot on top. It's there just for accent. Okay, you got a little area way out in your yard, just some shrubs, put some bird bass or an urn or a little plinth. But the reason I want to show that, Java, because it reminds me of something in my yard. Let's put up picture number 15. I've got a plinth in my yard, but instead of rock, it's the bottom, the pedestal from an old water bird bath. I got my grandmama's concrete chicken on it.
They have a plinth, you have a plinth.
Yeah, but mine's got granny chicken on top of it. I just want to throw that out. And the reason why I'm saying that, because in a few minutes we're going to play the next cheesy tune. It's an old thing called Chick, 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 Chickie. Lay a little egg for me. You'll see that in a minute. So anyway, a plinth, a pedestal. Some of you bought a bird bath, concrete bird bath, and the top part fell off and broke and just got the pedestal. Put it out in your yard. Put something on top of it, a rock, a big piece of glass, an urn, a concrete chicken, anything, but put it out by some shrubs, and it creates an accent, a little focal point that just gives it that little touch of whimsy. And whatever you put on it is what determines the mood of what people are seeing. But it's okay. You don't have to over-accessorize. Just a little pedestal here and there with something on top of it all the time. Big rock, anything, any kind of art. I just will throw that. Simple accessories. All good gardens have got them. All good gardens. If you don't have any, you ought to have. Those of you who do too many, well, I'm with you. I have too many accents. Java, you see my yard. I tend to over-accent with bottle trees and stuff.
Yeah, but I think some people may have the hesitation because they think they will go overboard. But if anybody's on the fence about this, just one little hard feature, one little accent will really set your garden off.
Yeah, it's sort of like, if you go to you see ladies are all dressed up, with pretty dress on, they'll have a little brooch on, just one little brooch. You don't have to have metal hanging out of every, holes all over yourself. Just one little brooch on your dress is all it takes to create a little focal point. And that's really, really good. Just want to throw that out.
Now, let's see if we can create a focal point. Well, now our phone call will be the focal point for this portion. And let's talk with Mikey in Pass Christian.
Morning, Mikey. What's going on down in the Pass?
How you doing, man? Well, I think he kind of built up on muley grasses, only on the muley grasses, and I actually have it at my house on my Mexican petunias, those little, what do y'all call them, 4 o'clocks, I think. Little purple, little flowery things. It's got a like a milky white fuzzy buildup on it.
Yeah, without looking at there's several things that can cause that. There's the scale insects that can be fuzzy. There's little leaf hoppers that can be fuzzy, and they spread a little fuzzy camouflage up and down the stems. Try this. Take your finger, a little stick, and run it up in the fuzzy, and something hops out of it. That could just be a leaf hopper, but they put camouflage up and down the stem that's got that same furry stuff. There's also mealybugs, which can cause that. So without really seeing a good close-up picture, I can't even begin to guess what it is. Run your finger up. If something hops out of it, it's just a leaf hopper. But if it's mealybugs, typically they're down in the crotches where the leaves join the stems, and they're kind of sticky. But I really can't tell that looking at it.
I got you, man. Well, thank you for your input, man. You take care.
Okay, try this. Cool. If it's mealybugs, they don't move. They're real kind of sticky and all. Get you a little squirt bottle and mix up a little bit of alcohol and water. Not a whole lot, just a little bit of alcohol, some water, and squirt that on them. That'll usually take care of mealybugs without poisoning anything else. So give that a try.
All right, my man. Y'all take care now.
All righty, appreciate it. And by the way, Java, I am talking about rubbing alcohol, if you got it.
Felder, let's go to break.
I'm horticultural. We got to do the cheesy tune or the regular break?
Yeah, this is just our first break for the hour. We'll do the cheesy tune in a little bit.
All righty. I have had trouble with one of my little gardens here. I got some pots of succulents across the top of our fence, and I've been having trouble with something tromping on it. We can talk about that later, but it is a toll-free program. If you want to give us a call, 1-877-MPB-RING. Mississippi Public Broadcasting brings this as a service to the people of Mississippi. Ought to take advantage of it and give us a call. We'll be right back, me and Java and all the other folks at MPB, right after this.
At the Mississippi Arts and Entertainment Experience in Meridian, we believe in the power of the arts, storytelling, and education, just like Mississippi Public Broadcasting. MPB connects communities across the state with quality programs that inform, inspire, and engage. Their audience is loyal and appreciative of businesses that support public broadcasting, which makes underwriting on MPB a smart investment. Join us in supporting MPB. Learn more at mpbfoundation.org.
Hatred destroys the one who hates the others that you have hated. Go on about their business. Care less.
So the legacy of Medgar Evers is an understanding of our own humanity and of our own responsibility of seeing that in other people.
He is written out of history. He's just not included as Malcolm and Martin. To me, it's the 3 M's, and Medgar's right up there at the lead.
Everlasting, Life and Legacy of Medgar Evers. Watch now on MPB Passport. Visit mpbonline.org for more.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing, and we're talking about gardening, all things gardening: lawns, trees, shrubs, flowers, bugs, blights, fungi, disease, worms, what else? Shade trees, azaleas. Because we had so much rain this past spring, we can assume that in Mississippi, a lot of our plants, unless you have really exceptionally well-drained soil, we can assume that a lot of the roots of these plants down deep have rotted. A lot of our plants are really shallow rooted. If you've ever seen a tree blow over, you know, they don't have roots that go down halfway to Asia. These are plants that have shallow roots because they can't breathe down deep. We have a lot of rain that sometimes actually kills deeper roots. Because of that, the plants don't have any reserves to pull on if it gets really hot and dry. So if you've got some valuable shrubs, maybe a fairly young tree that's been out there less than 2 or 3 years, it's a good idea to give it a good, slow, deep soaking. Don't water all the time, but a good, deep, slow soaking. I'm going to say at least once a month. Every 3 or 4 weeks is usually plenty. If you're watering shrubs more than once a week, that is a mistake. Just like lawn irrigation. Java, a lot of people have got irrigation systems. They use them all the time. They water the grass 2 or 3 times a week. There's not a grass in the world except for on golf courses, which are only like a 1/4 of an inch tall with real shallow roots grown in almost pure sand. There's no regular home lawn that needs watering more than every week or 2 at the most. I'm really sure of this. And keep in mind that decades ago, before I ever went to a horticulture school, I helped install irrigation in Southern California. I lived out there for a while. I've been working with irrigation and lawns for many, many, many years. There are no lawns that need watering more than every week or 2 at the most. And doing it more often than that causes problems. I'm not making this up, not my opinion. This is well-researched horticulture fact. So if you don't water your grass, you ought to, at least every 3 or 4 weeks. Shrubs, at least every month or month and a half. If you're watering more than that, probably ought to just back off a little bit. So that's good advice from somebody who doesn't sell anything, and it doesn't matter to me what you do or don't do, but I care about your plants. So there's that. We got any callers yet, Java?
Yeah, let's go to Scott. Hopefully got 2 hands on the wheel, who's on the road and wants to talk about kudzu.
Okay, Scott, you seen a lot of kudzu out there?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I live in Natchez, and unfortunately, I've got a big wooded area behind my house full of azaleas, but the kudzu is starting to creep over to my property, and I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of it.
Well, there's a couple of ways. You know, when new plants can be pulled up when they come up from seed, and they do come up from seed, sort of like they're in the same family as beans and things like that. But once it gets established, it has a tuber that you can actually eat. You can eat the vines, you can eat the leaves, you can eat the flower, you can eat all parts of kudzu. But to get rid of it, you've got to either dig up that tuber or else cut the stuff back, follow it to where it starts, you can cut it back there. And when the new growth comes out, you can spray it with this stuff called glyphosate, not Roundup, but glyphosate. It only kills what you put it on the leaves of, and it goes down and kills the roots. And not going to keep them coming back, so it's going to take 2 or 3 applications, but each time it gets easier. So find out where it's coming from, cut it back to there, and then treat the new growth while it's young and actively growing with the glyphosate. There is no other good control unless you want to invest in having some goats out there. Put some fence between your azaleas and the kudzu and put some goats out there. I'm serious.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've done some research on and pretty much found out it's almost impossible to get rid of it. But here, let me ask you one question here real quick, though. I've read that vinegar is a great killer of weeds. I'm just wondering if vinegar poured directly on those tubers would eventually maybe systemically.
Here's the deal. Vinegar is it's acetic acid. It's a natural acid. You can put it on plants and it'll burn the foliage. It will not kill the roots of plants. Vinegar burns foliage down, and that's it. So people who say it controls their weeds, they got weeds that they're not perennial. So it has zero effect on anything except a little foliage burn. And for what it costs to put vinegar out there, you could have gotten you a jug of glyphosate, and that does the job, and it's safe and it's effective. If there's anything else I could recommend, anything, I would do it. But I'm real familiar with it and the products. And if I had kudzu, that's the only thing I can think of that would actually work. And it's still going to take 2 or 3 applications. Anyway, if you could make a ditch between where the kudzu is starting from and your property, and just every time it starts to creep over, just hit it with a little glyphosate, that's about the best. That's as good as it gets, unfortunately.
Okay, is glyphosate?
Yeah, Glyphosate. It used to be the active ingredient Roundup. Okay. Roundup was a combination of things that caused problems, but glyphosate only kills what you put it on, kills the roots and all, and it degrades into carbohydrates. Some people say it's a health risk. It's on the same list as red meat and wood smoke, not even as dangerous as alcohol. I'm just saying, don't drink the stuff and you'll be okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give that a shot and see what happens there. I appreciate your help there.
Okay. Good luck on it.
Thank you.
So there. The job, I wish I could be just, Dr. Feelgood, only recommend stuff that people like to hear. But I've got to be honest about some of this stuff. There's some things that we do not have a good control for. And some things we don't have a good control for, natural or otherwise. But there are some synthetic stuff that actually work that are safe if you use them right. That's the truth. It's just the truth.
But speaking of what you told Scott about the goats, natural landscaping, I've seen social media posts about how, I don't know, about 4, 5, 6 goats can like clear a large area, like down to the shrubs.
Yeah. Kudzu is actually it's got it's a legume. It actually has good nutrients for even for cattle, but you can't let cattle loose. And also, he lives in Yazoo City. That's some show enough hills there. I stick with goats, but you have to put a fence up, and the goats going to take the azaleas out too.
Yeah. No, the goats I've seen is just they would take an area and just go to town. It's amazing that natural landscaping.
Yeah. So like kids in a bag of potato chips, you better get what you want first.
That's true. Now we're at about the halfway mark, Felder. Let's go ahead and take this cheesy tune break. You kind of previewed it a little bit with the chick.
Okay, and if you put up real picture while we're going out, picture number 16 real quick. This is something that's down the street from me. I live in a little village where it's perfectly okay to have chickens running loose. Picture number 16. It's just something I'm used to in this little village I'm in. But I'm a horticulturalist, Felder Rushing. Got a little chick. Lay a little egg for me. It's an old tune. It's an earworm. If you're not familiar with it, Google it. Chick. Lay a little egg for me. I'm horticulturalist, Felder Rushing, Java, all the folks here at MPB. Stick with us, folks. We're going to come back with more of the Gestalt Gardener and your phone calls and your gardening concerns right after this.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Rush. As a blues man, I love Mississippi Public Broadcasting. If you support Mississippi music and their local programming, donate now, right now, and become a member today, not tomorrow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doesn't matter how big or small, but we prefer big. Thank you very much.
Mississippi is a place of deep roots where every story matters and every voice can be heard. At MPB, we stand with our local communities, bringing you the voices of those who shape our state through local programming that reflects our culture across small towns to big cities, from the Delta to the coast. We tell the stories that define us, from the music that carries our voices to the leaders who inspire change. MPB brings you the heart of Mississippi, celebrating Mississippi one story at a time. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
School choice, rural hospitals, voter access. The 2026 Mississippi Legislature will impact you and your family for years to come. MPB brings you At Issue, a weekly analysis of the legislative session and the issues affecting you with perspectives from both sides of the aisle. Brandon Jones and new At Issue analyst Rebecca Staples join me, Wilson Stribling, every Monday at 5 p.m. only on MPB Think Radio and wherever you get your podcasts. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Okay, folks, welcome back. Horticulturalist Felder Rushing. Those of you who tuned in heard that chick, chick, chick. Java, that's about as cheesy as it gets.
That's an old song. I could hear the snap, crackle, and pop during that record, man.
Yeah, man, oh man, oh man. You know, it's I was reading something the other day, and do we have any callers?
Yeah, we got one lined up.
Okay, because I wanted to ask you something that's kind of a musical thing, but we're not here to talk about music. That's what you do, you know, on the is it the blend?
Yes, the blend, man.
Oh, the blend, man. Cool. So sometime when I get back, let's put together a set list from me.
Okay, we can do it. That's no problem, man.
We can blend it up real quick. Anyway, who we got on the line?
Let's go to Collinsville and talk with Sharon.
Morning, Sharon. How are you today?
Hey, Felder, I'm good. I hope you are. I love cheesy songs.
I do too. So earworms. Sometimes you can't get them out of your you can't get them out of your head. Sometimes the earworms.
Every year I had them across my porch in pots and all in the back, and they were beautiful. Last year mealybugs were bad, and I tried to fight them with natural, like water, a little bit of Dawn and baking soda, and then I finally bought an insecticide to spray. But this year, I mean, they attacked immediately, and everything. I'm just having to pull them up and bag them up and throw them in the garbage can. Can you give me any advice?
It is mealybugs for sure.
Yeah, the white, they're solid white, and they'll every once in a while there'll be a little bitty web, little tiny webs, but they're solid white, and if you mash them, they just kind of disintegrate. And I have seen solid white ones jump on there. I guess those are mealybugs too.
No, that's a different insect. There's another insect. It also covered with white webby stuff. It's a type of leaf hopper, and they don't do much damage, but they cover the stem up and down from where they are with same of that webby stuff like camouflage, and they'll hop out. So anyway, separate insect, but mealybugs, they don't move their, And by the way, Dawn dish detergent is a seething chemical concoction. It is not natural at all. It is really, really hardcore chemicals. But anyway,
Thank you. I didn't know.
Alcohol will do a pretty good job. So mix up a little alcohol and some water. I don't even know what percentage, but alcohol and water. Don't have to use pure alcohol, and just get you a little squirt bottle, and just squirt it on them, and that just they just can't take that at all. You might have to do it fairly regularly at first, but you get them under control with a little squirt bottle with some alcohol and water.
Okay, I've used alcohol and water, and it does work. But then in a couple of days, the whole stems are white. And then underneath, they're never on top. They're underneath the leaves. And I sprayed so much alcohol that, and I didn't have it strong with water, that it started kind of like just taking the color out of the plant and making little brown spots on it.
No, doesn't take much alcohol. But here's the thing. You can kill insects all day today, but tomorrow some of their eggs are going to hatch out. These sprays don't kill the eggs.
Yeah.
And so it seemed like that they done, but you have to spray. Anytime you spray for insects, you usually have to spray 2 or maybe 3 times, 5, 6, 7 days apart, to get the main ones first, and then catch the young ones before they have a chance to lay more eggs. It takes a week or more. So if you'll spray 2 or 3 times a few days apart, that'll usually get the worst of them. And there'll always be a few bad, but I wouldn't go more than about 1 part alcohol to maybe 2 or 3 parts water.
Okay, I'm going to buy some more and give it a try. Thank you for being there.
Good luck on it, but don't pull your plants up. I mean, come on, we can do something better than that.
Well, Sharon, hopefully that helps. And let's stay on the phones, Felder, and go to Florence and talk with Sandra.
Good morning, Sandra. What's up in Rankin County?
Hey, Felder. I wanted to ask you about my rose. I tried to move I think it's a Seven Sisters from my front north-facing yard because it was in my path. Anyway, I moved it to the east side of the house, and it gets a good bit of sun. Never has bloomed. And the old one is coming up again, and it don't bloom either.
Yeah. Well,
and I've fed it and watered
I don't know if is this one that blooms all the time or just once in the spring?
I think just once in the spring.
Yeah. What's really important with those spring bloomers, and whether there's several rambling roses with clusters of pink flowers that are called Seven Sisters. It's really important to give them a good soaking every few weeks in the late summer and fall, and to not prune them at all in the wintertime because they bloom on what grew the year before. So if you prune them in the late summer or the fall, there go next year's flowers. So try not to prune them. A little bit of fertilizer, not much. Don't be heavy. It's like putting salt on an egg. You don't put it by the teaspoon. You just sprinkle a little fertilizer around them, and a good soaking every 3 or 4 weeks in the fall. And don't prune them except after they bloom in the spring, and that'll help. But they'll do better if they get more sunshine. But I've seen that one bloom in the light shade with no problems.
Well, some of the fronds just don't have any leaves and all. Should I cut those off?
You could cut them off, or you could cut them back, and they'll sprout back out. Wherever, on any kind of stems, when you cut them back, new growth will sprout out at the next 1 or 2 or 3 leaf joints right below where you cut them back. So you might want to cut them back pretty far, or maybe cut some far and some a little bit and leave some unpruned. And I think if you get right on that this month or by early August, they'll have time for the new growth to come out and set flower buds before they go dormant in the fall.
Okay, I'll do that.
Little fertilizer, good soaking, a little pruning now, but nothing until after they bloom in the spring.
Okay. I have a foxglove that I bought in the spring, and I hadn't put it in the ground yet. When should I plant it, or how should I do that?
Foxgloves are unusual. We have all sorts of wildflowers going along the roadside, just stuff that comes up everywhere. Foxglove is a genuine weed in England. It grows out of bricks on the side of houses. It grows out of people's chimneys. It grows everywhere, but it's a biennial. The seeds sprout one year. It grows in a little plant, little rosette little plant, like a big African violet. And it goes through the wintertime, then it gathers up and blooms the next spring, sets seeds, and usually dies. So it's what they call a biennial. It's really important to get them out as soon as you can. They do better over the winter than in Mississippi than they do over the summer. they have a hard time with our heat and humidity. Where it cools down at night, where when it gets up to 80, they think it's hot. That's where I forgot what we're talking about. Foxglove. But it's a biennial. The plants don't live forever. They live a couple of years. But first year it's leaves, next year it flowers, set seeds, and then usually dies. So I go ahead and put it out either maybe in a bigger pot. It may still bloom this year, but once they bloom, that's pretty much it for that plant.
Yeah,
like,
it was
sort of like
blooming when I got it, and it has bloomed another time since.
Okay.
But
well, we are talking about foxgloves, right?
Yeah, foxglove or digitalis.
Yeah. Well, it's up in New England and place where it stays cool in the summer. That's where it grows best. Usually they're just sort of a one shot over the winter, sort of like snapdragons. We plant snapdragons in the fall. If they make it over the winter, they do fine the next spring, and then they peter out. Sometimes you'll get a few that'll keep going, but most of the time they're kind of a one shot over the winter type thing. Usually,
right? But they do reseed.
Oh yeah. They
if you
do.
leave the
they
seeds,
do.
they'll
But
reseed
this plant it grows in the cracks of sidewalks.
I know.
New England and here it's a weed, but here you just got to make sure it doesn't get too hot and too humid and too wet, because it just does not like hot, humid weather. It just does. It'll do okay, but nothing like head high like you're going to see it in other places.
So did you say I need to put it out in the fall or in the winter?
They grow over the wintertime in Minnesota. You know, the cold doesn't hurt them. What gets them is hot, humid summer nights. So yeah, they grow over the winter. That's how they grow.
I don't need to put it in the ground now.
Well, I'd at least put it out in the sun where it get maybe not on a patio that's got radiated heat, but put out where it gets some sunshine, because it's just a regular plant. It needs sunshine and all.
Yeah. Well, I've got it on my porch right now, but so I'll put it in the
as long as it gets a little bit of sunshine,
shade.
You can keep it up. It should do okay.
Put it in the shade and see how it does.
Bright sun.
Okay. All right.
Good luck on it.
Thank
Java.
you. Okay. Love your show.
Java, what she's talking about, I'm gonna show you a picture of it real quick.
Okay.
From my phone. Can you see that okay?
Pull it back just a little bit. I see purple something. Pull it back some more. Trying to see if it'll focus. Yeah, I see it.
Well, that's what the flowers look like, but here's what the plants look like. Give you an idea. Here's me standing by some.
Oh yeah, those some big boys.
Yeah. And won't do this in Mississippi. Okay, this is along just a rural footpath. It's just a weed. But we don't live in foxglove country. Some people pull it off, but they sit as a bedding plant like they do snapdragons. So anyway, sorry, we can't grow everything like they do in other places.
All right, Felder, I got a question for you. It's a dealer's choice, your choice. We can either take a break or we can go to a phone call.
Well, we're here for phone calls.
I knew what you were gonna go for. Let's
This is what we do. How about say the breakup? We'll listen to them after the program's over.
Let's go to JW in Mobile.
JW, what's going on, sir?
Hot weather. How about you?
So far, so good.
I got a genealogy question. My grandfather was a Russian in Coffee County, Alabama. He was on about 1,200 acres up that way and was a big farmer and all that stuff. And I was just curious as to what part of the country your folks were from.
Well, I usually don't show this kind of stuff off, but I've got a tattoo on my arm from the Isle of Man, which is an island between England and Ireland and Scotland. That's where the Russians came from in 1650. We were on the wrong side of the English Civil War, so they shipped us off to North America, and a whole bunch of us settled in the Carolinas, particularly South Carolina. And in the early 1800s, 1805, 1806, the Rushings and the Felders moved to what's now South Mississippi, Franklin County and Pike County. And so that's where my Russians came from. We all the way over there, and I'm sure some of them stopped off along the way and stayed in Alabama. But if the name Rushing or Felder, You know, my great-great-grandfather had 15 brothers. Who ain't I related to?
I heard that. All right. Well, I was just curious. I listen to your show just about every day and enjoy it. Y'all have a good day and stay cool.
Well, I appreciate. And by the way, some of us Rushings are okay. Some of them are a little sketchy there. So don't go telling just everybody that you're related to me.
Amen.
Appreciate you tuning in, JW. We appreciate you listening, man. That was kind of. I didn't know where that genealogy was going, Felder. You may found a cousin right there.
Well, you know, I've been to where the Rushings are from, Isle of Man. I've been to where the Felders are from in Switzerland. You know, where the Swayzes and the Bradleys, the early Jersey settlers from 1770. They moved in 1773. A bunch of folks moved from Long Island in New Jersey to what's now Natchez, and they found a place called Kingston or Kingstown, 1773. So we've been in Mississippi, what was now Mississippi, since before the American Revolution.
Seems like a very long time.
You think we'd have gotten used to the heat and humidity by now, Java, but no.
Let's go ahead and take our last break for the hour. Appreciate you again, JW, for calling in today.
All righty, folks. I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing, Java, John C., Abram, Marissa, all the folks at MPB. We appreciate you tuning in. If you can't catch the whole 2 hours, if you want to pick up on it sometime, just go to mpbonline.org and scroll around till you find radio and Gestalt Gardener. Or go to YouTube and type in Gestalt Gardener. You can see these pictures of the stuff that we've been talking about. We're going to be right back with more of the Gestalt Gardener, more of your program here on MPB right after this.
Since 1970, MPB has been enriching the lives of Mississippians.
Everything we do gives us the chance to grow and learn.
With your support, we are always there whenever and wherever you need us. Together through the years, together in the future. Please consider making a donation at mpbfoundation.org. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Every parent wants their child to grow, to explore, and to dream big. At MPB, we're proud to support families and teachers across Mississippi with trusted educational programming and resources that inspire learning and spark imagination. From PBS Kids Favorites to digital tools and early learning support, MPB is here for young minds, engaged classrooms, and families who believe in the power of learning at every age. Empowering families, inspiring learners. MPB, your stories, our mission.
Together through the years, together in the future. MPB, your stories, our mission.
All right, folks, welcome back. Horticulture Felder Rushing. And by the way, Java, I actually listened to the break just then. You know, I'm not just going off getting coffee and all like that, but, you know, I listened to some of the other programs that we have on MPB. You know, Pam on Fix It 101, Ryder Taff on Money Matters, Carol and Malcolm on D7 Diamond, of course, you know, and your incredible music blend every week. I know all of y'all personally, and it's almost by accident through MPB. These are folks that are well known in their communities, and I appreciate the opportunity MPB has put us together with real people talking to real people about real stuff. But anyway, I just want to throw that out. I personally use some of these folks for my advice, and they've helped me. Did I just say all that?
You did. Yeah, you did. You just sent you said a mouthful, and I was getting a message off air at the same time. So there you go.
Okay. You weren't paying attention, were you?
I mean, you didn't have to spill the beans.
That's okay. We got any callers?
No, we just had something. Joe was calling in, and he was going to send us an email. garden@mpbonline.org is the email address. See if we can get this in before the end of the show. But if I jump back over here to YouTube, I want to say good morning to all of our YouTube watchers and listeners. Some have been on since the beginning of the 2 hours. Also want to but say good morning to Fletch, Stewart, Keith, who asks, does Felder still play trombone in his off hours? Oh, that's a good question.
Let me answer that. I still have a trombone. It's still out in my little cabin, and I play it every now and then. But I sound like geese passing gas on a muggy day. That's the best way I can say it. I'm not. It's sad, you know that like wah 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 wah. That's me playing trombone.
But also want to say,
I played in a symphony back in the '60s in the Navy band during Vietnam. I played a lot. But right now it's just sad. I can whistle better than I can do anything now.
Well, it's about like me and my alto saxophone. I say one day I'm a pick it back up, but I played alto saxophone for a very long time, and then one day I said, I'm good.
Hey, I tell you what, Java, when I get back, I'll bring my trombone and get your alto sax, and we'll warm up a little bit, and we'll do our version of the Gestalt Gardener tune together.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Now you put it in the atmosphere. You put it out there.
There you go. I'm throwing it out. It's on.
And for the last shout out this morning, I do have to say good morning to Sean, the gardener, who has checked in more than once, but I wanted to shout him out because he's checking in from Cornwall, England.
All right. Arr, that's where the pirate language comes from. We appreciate that. I'm up in Lancashire. As we say, I'm a northerner, me. In Java, I've got, I had some other pictures. I've got a culprit in my backyard that's tromping some of my hardy succulents. We'll talk about that next week, but I would like to thank all the folks who've tuned in for the past couple of hours, and if there's some things I can help you with during the week, if you can't go to garden@mpbonline.org and send emails, check out the Mississippi Gardening Facebook page. I know Facebook is is old school. It's boomer type stuff, but Facebook, the one called Mississippi Gardening, is safe. It's real people. They're polite. They're nice to each other. And we got quite a few real experts on there. Me and a whole bunch of other folks. Gary Bachman, Carol Reese. We've got Dr. Owens from LSU. We got real experts on there. And we just talk gardening, not horticulture, gardening. So Facebook is just go to Mississippi Gardening. It's safe, I promise you.
Now, Felder, we got about 30 seconds, but what is eating your things over at your garden?
What's eating it?
Because didn't you say something was eating?
Yeah, put up. I know put up picture number 19, and we'll use that to go off, and I'll give you a hint about what we're going to talk about next week. Okay. Picture number 19. We may not have time for this, but it is. There you go.
Oh,
can you see that?
It's a little kitty cat.
It's a cat. A cat uses my pots as a personal litter box, and it walks all over stuff. Anyway, I'm being gentle. I've come up with some ways to foil it without hurting it. So anyway, we try to be kind to all creatures, but.
Okay, we'll talk about that next week. Take us home, Felder.
We will. I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing, Java Chapman, all the folks at MPB. We appreciate you joining us, and we're going to be here every week, every Friday, and also 24/7 on YouTube and on mpbonline.org. Glad you joined us. Get a chance, go to farmers market. I know it's hot, but those folks are growing stuff and making stuff for you. And so go meet them, get to know them, be personal with them, and take a kid with you. Show them how to do what we do best, folks. And that's get dirty. Get dirty and share it with everybody. I'm horticulturalist Felder Rushing. See y'all next week.